All right, let's talk about one of the most exciting and, let's be honest, kind of scary moments when you're selling your home, getting a flood of offers all at once. It sounds like a dream come true, right? But it can turn into a legal maze really, really fast. So just picture it. Your house has been listed for, what, a few days? And the offers are just pouring in. Your agent's blowing up your phone. This is exactly what you hoped for. But what do you do now? What's the right move? Well, as you're about to see, it's not as simple as you might think. And this is what we call the seller's dream dilemma. I mean, on the one hand, you've got all the leverage in the world, but on the other, one wrong move, one tiny misstep, and you could find yourself in some serious legal hot water. And listen, this isn't some rare, once-in-a-lifetime thing. In competitive markets, like Greater Milwaukee, for example, getting a bunch of offers right out of the gate is pretty common. Some sellers even plan for it, setting a specific date to review all offers just to create this kind of buzz. Now, your first thought is probably, great, I'll just send a counteroffer back to all the top bidders and see who comes up with the most money. And that impulse, which sounds totally logical, it is a massive trap. It might be the single biggest mistake a seller can make in this situation. So here's where that trap springs. Let's say you send a standard counteroffer to 3 different buyers. If 2 of them, or heck, all 3 of them, sign and accept it, you have now legally sold your one house to multiple people. That's a breach of contract, and believe me, that is a legal and financial nightmare you do not want. The right way to do it is completely different. It's all about carefully negotiating to find that one perfect offer without getting sued. So how do you pull this off correctly? Well, you need a very specific tool that was designed for this exact job. It's called the multiple counteroffer. Think of it as the expert's key to getting through that maze we talked about. But first, we need to be clear on what a regular, standard counteroffer even is. It's not just a tweak to the negotiation. When you send one, you're officially rejecting the buyer's original offer and creating a brand new one. And here's the crucial part. That original offer is now dead. It's gone forever. You can't change your mind and go back to it later. The multiple counteroffer, though, is a totally different animal. Yeah, it looks similar on paper, but it's built with this special legal framework that lets you, the seller, talk to several buyers at once with new terms, all without that risk of accidentally selling your house 3 times over. It's negotiation with a built-in safety net. Okay, so what does this actually look like in practice? Understanding the rules of this particular game is absolutely critical, whether you're the one selling the house or trying to buy it. You know, the best way to think about this is like you're a director holding a final casting call. First, the seller, the director, sends out the script, which is the multiple counter, to their top actors, the buyers. The buyers then give their best performance by signing and returning it. But, and this is the big twist, just because an actor says they'll take the part doesn't mean they've got it. It's not a contract yet. The seller gets to review all the returned acceptances, and only when they put their signature on one of them is the deal done. That final signature is what makes it a real binding contract. So if there is one thing you take away from all this, let it be this. A buyer signing the multiple counter does not seal the deal. All it really does is hand all the power right back to the seller. The seller is holding all the cards until the very end, until they sign on the dotted line for one single buyer. And the seller's power here is huge. Until that final contract is signed, sealed, and delivered by everybody, the seller is technically still a free agent. So if some amazing brand new offer just walks in the door out of nowhere, they can legally take that one instead. So knowing the rules is one thing, but knowing how to play your cards right to win, that's another. This isn't just a legal checklist, it's a high-stakes negotiation, and there are real strategies for both sides of the table. If you're the seller, this tool isn't a blunt instrument. You can actually customize it for each buyer. Maybe you push buyer A for a higher price, but you ask buyer B to drop their inspection contingency. A smart agent is also going to be doing some recon, talking to the other agents to see who's really motivated. And you know what? Sometimes it just comes down to a gut feeling about which buyer and agent will be the smoothest to work with to get to closing. Now, if you're a buyer and you got one of these, don't just give up. And definitely don't just blindly throw more money at it. Look really closely at the counteroffer you got. It's basically a treasure map to what the seller actually cares about. Is it the price? Or is it the closing date? Also, keep in mind, the other buyers are probably just as frustrated as you are. Some of them might just walk away. And here's a little pro tip. In your initial offer, you can sometimes add a clause that says the seller can't share your offer's details with anyone else. That can sometimes stop a bidding war before it even starts. Through all this back and forth, all this complexity, there's one person who can make or break the entire deal, and that's your guide through this whole process. In a situation this complicated, with so much on the line, experience is everything. There's a quote that really says it all. The experience and skill of the agents involved can dramatically affect the outcome. This is just not a time to have an amateur in your corner. A great agent is so much more than someone who fills out paperwork. They're a skilled communicator, reading between the lines of what the other agent is saying. They're part psychologist, figuring out what really makes each buyer tick. And, most importantly, they're your legal shield, making sure you navigate all these complex rules without a hitch. So we'll leave you with this to think about. When you're in the middle of a bidding war, and you're looking at all these offers, with all their different terms, contingencies, and closing dates, is the offer with the biggest price tag really the best one? As it turns out, the answer is usually a lot more complicated than that. Thanks for joining us.